Democrats are finding some momentum in surprise showings in several recent special elections this summer. That includes an underdog victory in New York's Hudson Valley by war veteran and County Executive Pat Ryan, who won his special election on Tuesday. Congressman-elect Ryan joins me now. We thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I like underdog. That's cool. I'll take it.
That is the title we are giving you. And House Speaker Nancy Pelosi cheered your victory. She said that Republicans should be very, very, very scared for November. So how much of a bellwether do you think your victory represents to Democrats ahead of the midterms?
We made this campaign about a referendum on choice and on freedom, and we saw an overwhelming response that I think will really resonate across the country, that when any institution, the Supreme Court or either political party, gets out of alignment with American values, we stand up, we send a message, and I think that's what happened here, and I do think that will really continue to build into the fall. And
you mentioned abortion rights. In your campaign, you were very direct, saying that choice is on the ballot, and we saw the surprise results in Kansas, a deep red state where voters voted to uphold abortion rights. Do you think the Democrats should lean into abortion rights for their campaigns in this fall? And do you think that it is an issue that can change voters from, say, red to blue?
The entire political ground in the country is shifting right now, because when you see anyone try to rip away fundamental rights and freedoms, people stand up and send a message and say, this is not who we are as a country. And so I absolutely think we have to continue to center defense of rights and freedoms of all kinds. And this attack on women's reproductive rights and reproductive freedom is representative of a lot of other similar threats to other fundamental rights and freedoms. Voting rights. I mean, we saw 24 hours before the Dobbs decision, we saw another Supreme Court ruling that put more assault weapons, the same weapons I carried in combat, on our streets, so that parents like me trying to drop my 3-year-old, my 7-month-old off at daycare have that feeling in the pit of their stomach. I mean, neither of those things are at all really lining up with where I think the vast majority of the American people are.
And we've seen many Republican primary candidates repeat the president's false claims about the 2020 election that will likely win their elections come this fall. What kind of threat do you think that poses to our democracy, and how will you work with your colleagues that believe that deny the legitimacy of the 2020 election?
Well, look, this is an existential moment in our country. There is a direct threat to democracy, and I also think that the attempt to take away reproductive rights is part of that. We just saw polling just in the last week that threats to democracy now rank above and at the top of concerns for all issues among Americans. That just came out a few days ago, and that very much aligns with what I felt on the ground. But it's all linked together, because once something that has been hard fought and protected, and any right can just be taken away, then that really calls the whole sort of system and our democracy into question. So I think this is a time where we're seeing across the country patriots from all parties or no party stand up and say, this just is not who we are as Americans.
Definitely. And you called former President Trump's handling of the documents that were seized at Mar-a-Lago, quote, essentially traitorous. How do you make the case to conservatives that still support the former president?
We have to get beyond personality and get back to values that we share as Americans. We, for example, talked about reproductive rights and abortion access under that broader umbrella of freedom. In the same way, we have to get back to a core American value of trust and security. And I was an Army intelligence officer that had a top secret clearance. I was trusted to safeguard sensitive national security information, and I took that very seriously. Anyone who does not honor that trust, regardless of who they are, has to be held accountable. And I think, again, that is something that all Americans can agree on, trust and accountability. And we just have to get back to reminding each other that we share these values in common. And a lot of politicians right now are trying to divide us around things, but the work of leadership is reminding people that we do share these things, these ideas in common in a more foundational way.
All right, Congressman-elect Ryan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.